Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I had to quickly turn down the volume. I don't want you guys to hear what's going on in the background of the game. So I quickly turned down the volume, but when I'm done with this, I'm gonna turn up the volume. So everyone, since we're here, we'll talk about what my plans are. I'm gonna do as I said and follow through with it. Because I remember last video, I told you guys I was working on what to do for Helluva Boss. I think I got the backstory one down for it. If you guys remember the backstory, I read it out in that video as well. The backstory of Helluva Boss for the Helluva Boss Overtune for me is basically that Kageyama has been Shigishima's older brother's son for the longest of times. And basically the backstory behind that is that Tsukishima did not know of this. He did not know. But regardless of him not knowing, Kageyama has been the Prince of Hell for the longest of times. And Oikawa in this story, he does not... I wanted to make the storyline a little bit more believable. Clearly, Angel Dust has definitely been in hell for a long time. Because the people who made Helluva Boss made a backstory little thing. It has Cherry Bomb and Angel Dust in it. It has what Angel Dust was basically doing before we see him at the hotel. So, I wanted to do something because technically, if he was there, because we know he met Valentino before he even went to the hotel. So technically speaking, he didn't meet everyone until... Well, not meet everyone. He didn't go to the hotel until Charlie wanted to change him. So I wanted to do a backstory of how like Oikawa was like already dead. So I have it to where Oikawa has been dead since middle school for Kageyama. So everyone in the Haikyuu world is alive. But Kageyama, nobody knows... Oikawa, my bad. I meant Oikawa. Anyway, like I was trying to say, no one knows Oikawa until they see him in the live. So the only people who knew him during middle school are the only people who know of him. Although, I will have it that, in the storyline, I will have it as that, Iwazumi talks about Oikawa to them. So they know about Oikawa from him. But do they personally know of Oikawa? No. That's the thing I'm trying to get across to you. Is that they personally don't know of Oikawa, but they've heard of Oikawa from Iwazumi. So Iwazumi talks about Oikawa because, Oikawa is meant to be his childhood friend. I'm not even joking about the whole childhood friend thing. Literally, in the Haikyuu world, he is Iwazumi's childhood friend. So this storyline fits perfectly around that. So it's perfect for him to play that role of telling people about his childhood friend that died during their middle school years. And I believe I have in the storyline thing the cause of why he's dead. I could show it again to like refresh my memory. Or I could just like show it just to me and then come back and explain. Which is also something I could do. I think I have it on... I'm gonna use my other phone to check it. Okay, so... Yeah, I did not write a cause of death. for him. How strange. I can't believe I forgot something as simple as that. It's fine. Okay, so basically, let me read what it says. I put that Kageyama is the Prince of Hell and that Tsuchima's brother is his father. Biological father. Because Kageyama, we don't know if his parents, because they don't show them in the storyline. We only know he has an older sister and he lives with his grandpa. And so I have it in this storyline that Kageyama is not actually related to the Kageyama family. I think Kageyama's the last name. You get what I'm trying to say. He's not actually related to Miwa. And Miwa isn't related to him. He was adopted into our family. So my storyline, he was adopted into our family. Okay, so here's the thing. He meets the people at Aoba Josei Middle School, but Aikawa dies during their middle school days. I didn't put a cause of death, and the reason I didn't put a cause of death in the storyline of it is because it's gonna go in the backstory I make. So in the backstory, I'm gonna go into details of his cause of death. So you'll find during the storyline his cause of death, but for right now, you're not finding out the cause of death. So all you guys can really do is wait to the storyline to figure out the cause of death. Because I'm not gonna tell you about it until it's time for the backstory. Because in a storyline, I'm not supposed to give you everything. Because listen, a storyline is meant to be a storyline for a reason. Because you're not supposed to tell all your secrets in the storyline. Although I'm sure you guys would love to know all my secrets about this storyline and the backstory behind everything. Well, I guess I could explain a little bit of why Aikawa dies. So Aikawa dies during his middle school days because we know Aikawa is one of those charismatic persons. And we know Aikawa is one of the most caring people in the world. Aikawa cares for people. Yeah, I get that he hates people like Kageyama and Ushijima. But in the backstory, I'm going to have it to where Aikawa actually saves Kageyama from being hit by a car, causing a result in his death. Of course, when they go to hell, Aikawa looks completely different. So, of course, Kageyama doesn't remember him. The same with the other people who went there as well. They don't remember each other. The ones I have playing is Cherry Bomb and Angel Dust, which is Aikawa, and then Dazai. I have Dazai as Cherry Bomb. Those two are the two that remember each other during the time they were alive. But Kageyama does not remember Aikawa. I'm going to have it to where he does remember Aikawa, but Aikawa doesn't remember him. So he remembers Aikawa, and Aikawa doesn't remember him. That is the reason why he's helping Aikawa out in hell. Because he remembers Aikawa, but Aikawa doesn't remember him very much. Therefore, he's stuck figuring out what to do because Aikawa doesn't remember him. But even though Aikawa doesn't remember him, he can tell that Aikawa still feels that brotherly love they had between them. So, basically, Aikawa still shows him brotherly love even though he doesn't remember him. So basically, what I was saying is that yeah, he doesn't remember him. Aikawa doesn't remember Kageyama at all. But even though he doesn't remember him, he still feels that connection they had back when they were in. I'm gonna call it the human world. We're gonna call it that. Because why not? Back when they're in the human world. Or real life, per se. Because technically they're in hell. So technically, it would be real life. Back when you're in the real world. I'll just call it that. The real world. I mean, I think it's a great backstory. Because in another backstory, where I turn Aikawa and them into villains, the reason Aikawa becomes a villain is because he gets cheated on by Iwazumi. As I said many times before, in many other videos, I told you guys, the people I feel like that are most likely to cheat in relationships of the haiku world would be, let me see. It would be Iwazumi, because he's aggressive toward his partner and is always treating his partner like trash. Yaku, and then Kenma, and then I said that I don't think it would be Akashi. I don't think Akashi would cheat on Bokuto unless there was actually a reason to why. Unless he was sick of Bokuto's like personality. Because we know Bokuto's personality. I said if he was like sick of that personality, then yeah, he would break up with him. Because technically speaking, if he was sick of Bokuto's personality, I feel like that would be the reason why he would cheat on him. Because we know that he's the one taking care of Bokuto's mood swings. And Bokuto has serious mood swings. So he's the one taking care of him when he goes into sad mode. So I felt like that would be a deal breaker if he were to ever cheat. Because if he were to ever cheat, he would cheat with someone that doesn't have problems like that. Because that would be... Because, I mean, like, think about it logically. If you were to cheat, what would be the reason why you cheated? If you were dating someone that was like Bokuto, what would be the reason why you cheated? It would be because that person's personality. That's what I'm trying to get at. It would be because that person's personality is exactly like Bokuto's. And Bokuto is a mess. So of course you would cheat for the same reasons I said Akashi would. Because technically speaking, I'm not saying Akashi would actually cheat on Bokuto. I'm just saying if he ever were to do so, that would be the reason. Because think about it logically. Because, like, if I ever had a reason to cheat on someone, like, literally cheat on someone, and they had a personality like Bokuto's, that would be my reason of why I would do that in the first place. Because we see how Bokuto's personality is. His personality is a wild mess. And technically speaking, anyone who wouldn't like someone with that type of personality, you can't lie and say you wouldn't cheat on that person. Because technically, you're lying and I know you're lying. Because, listen, I don't want you to lie, but I also don't want you to tell the truth. Because, like, you know you would cheat on that person if they had the same personality as Bokuto. Like, the exact same personality. Because you think it's so annoying that they act that way. So you know you would cheat on that person. Sorry if it comes off a little rude, but, like, at the same time, you can't lie and say you wouldn't cheat on Bokuto if cheat on someone if they had Bokuto's personality. But anyway, regardless of that fiasco of a mess, there's something I want to point out. So you know there are many characters with different personalities, right? I mean, of course you know that. You wouldn't be. Anyway, what I was trying to get at is that Bokuto's personality is a real deal breaker. And I felt like if Akashi ever had a reason to cheat, it would be because of that, because of his personality. But for whatever other, but other than that, I feel like he wouldn't cheat. And I'm being serious when I say that, because like other than the personality, he wouldn't cheat for any other reason. Because like the personality is the only deal breaker I see with Bokuto. But for Levin Yaku, and then Kurokin, and then Iwaoi, and then of course I said Atsumu and Sakusa's relationship is a bit messy as well. Because Sakusa is a huge germaphobe. And I said that his personality would also be a deal breaker in a situation like this. Because like, he also treats Aikawa a little wrongly. You might ask how or why I say that. But tell me, was there ever a moment you saw him treat Atsumu with the respect he deserves? He always treated Atsumu like a germ. In every story I see that's an August story, he's always treating Atsumu like he's a germ. And like he's disgusting. And I'm just like, wow, you shouldn't be doing that because that's supposed to be your boyfriend. But he's still treating him like that. That's why I said, personally, their relationship wouldn't work out in my eyes. For that exact reason. Yeah, because I'm not saying being a germaphobe is the whole reason why I said the relationship would work out. The reason I said the relationship would work out is because of that personality surrounding that extreme germaphobe behavior. And no one can say different because you know it's true, and don't try to lie to me and say that's not true. I don't think Sakusa would never do that. Yeah, because you guys have seen the Fluff AU. And yeah, I've seen the Fluff AU too, but like in the Fluff AU, he's supposed to be loving him. But if we're talking about reality-wise, they would probably break up in a matter of seconds. I don't care if that's shade or nothing. Because technically, I'm saying the whole truth, boo-boo. He would break up with that man in a matter of seconds. Their relationship wouldn't even work out. You might say it hurtful, or that's cruel, or that's whatever. But like, don't say nothing until you see the proof of what I'm putting down. Because technically, I could do a story on the couples I think wouldn't work out physically. Of course, Noya and Akashi, their relationship would work out perfectly because, like, those two are perfectly matching. And they have a good relationship, and I can tell you that for sure. For certain. I've been recording for too long, maybe it's because I've been speaking for too long. I'm gonna end the video because I've been speaking for too long, and I'm sorry for speaking too long. It's just that I'm really dependent on this mindset of mine, because after watching anime for so long, I know what couples would work and what couples wouldn't work. And the fact that people are shipping Bakugo and Deku, it just boggles my brain because I absolutely hate that ship. Yeah, I know you're welcome to like and dislike your own things, and people are able to like whatever they want. So even if I have a problem with it, it's none of my business because they're the ones that like it, and I get that. And I get that I shouldn't be up in their business saying how I don't like it at all and how I think their relationship is stupid and how I think their relationship would work out. Because technically speaking, I'm telling the truth. You guys just don't want to hear it. Because technically I am telling you guys the truth. I don't think Bakugo and Deku's relationship would work out in a relationship wise. Like dating wise. I don't think their relationship would ever work out in that way. Because Bakugo hates Deku. You might say, oh, but in the new updated version, he doesn't, hate Deku. Yeah, I know in My Hero season 7 now, the current seasons now, that he technically doesn't hate Deku as much. I still don't think that relationship would work out. And I'm being serious when I say that. I still don't think that relationship would work out. I mean, yeah, they could definitely be friends, but dating? No. They have a rivalry going on, regardless of the fact that they seem a lot calmer with each other. They still have that rivalry of who's going to be the better hero going on. So, technically speaking, I have every right to say I don't think that relationship's going to work. Because, technically speaking, it's not. You can tell me whatever you want, but I'm saying, from my personal views, not even my personal views, from my personal understanding, all the character personalities and attributes, that I don't think that would work. That relationship would work. And I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry for speaking so long. It's just that when it comes to some ships, for some animes, there are some ships in some animes that I know would absolutely not work. And then there's some other ships and other relationships that I know would absolutely work. But for most of the relationship in animes, there are some that I know would absolutely not work at all. That is why I'm saying this now, because like I know of some ships in relationships in some of the animes that would not work out, and they would not last long. Yaku's relationship with Lev, that wouldn't last long. Iwazumi's relationship with Oikawa, that wouldn't also last long. And then Atsumu and Sakusa's relationship wouldn't last long. And then Kirokin, their relationship wouldn't last long. It's just like the facts, because like if you could tell just from someone's personality and how they treat their partner like trash, you can just tell that relationship isn't gonna last long. Anyway,